Welcome to this presentation of Bronfenbrenner's Ecological Systems Theory. In this presentation, we will describe the definition of a family, outline the ecological systems theory, and discuss how this theory is related to early childhood education. Over the past decades, the definition of what makes a family has changed. Drexel described the family structure as reminding him of the days of diagramming sentences. Each clause has its own nouns and verbs, but they all connect to form a complete sentence. What makes this family a complete sentence is the fact that they consider and define themselves as a family. According to Klein and White, there are 4 factors that help differentiate families from other groups. First of all, families usually last for a longer period of time than other groups. Secondly, families are intergenerational. Thirdly, when we examine families, the relationships among family members include both biological and affinal relationships. And finally, family relationships are linked to a larger kinship network. This is an important definition to keep in mind as we begin to think about the ecological systems theory. Bronfenbrenner describes the ecological systems theory as an approach to child development that views the child as developing within a complex system of relationships affected by multiple levels of the surrounding environment. From this perspective, individuals are viewed as a part of a series of nested systems. These systems can be categorized by the microsystem, mesosystem, exosystem, macrosystem, and chronosystem. The microsystem includes institutions and groups that most immediately and directly impact the child's development, including family, school, religious institutions, neighborhoods, and peers. These are the groups the child comes into direct contact with on a regular basis. The mesosystem refers to relations between the microsystems. So the relationship between the school and the family can have an impact on how the child views school. For example, children who feel rejected by their parents may have difficulty developing positive relations with teachers. It is these relationships between microsystems that make up a child's mesosystem. The exosystem involves links between a social setting in which the individual does not have an active role. For example, a child's experience at home may be influenced by a mother's experiences at work. The mother might receive a promotion that requires more travel, which might increase conflict with the husband and change patterns of interaction with the child. The culture in which individuals live is identified as the macrosystem. Some of the cultures which form the macrosystem include socioeconomic status, poverty, and ethnicity. A child, his or her parent, his or her school, and his or her parent's workplace are all part of a larger cultural context. By definition, members of a cultural group share a common identity, heritage, and values. It is important to remember that the macrosystem evolves over time because each successive generation may change the macrosystem, leading to their development of a unique macrosystem. The chronosystem embodies system changes over time. It can be described by the patterning of environmental events and transitions over the life course, as well as socio-historical circumstances. For example, divorces can be classified as a transition. Researchers have found that the negative effects of divorce on children often peak in the first year after divorce. By 2 years after the divorce, family interaction is less chaotic and more stable. A socio-historical circumstance can be demonstrated by the increase in opportunities for women to pursue a career during the last 30 years. The ecological systems theory has a direct impact on early childhood education as it helps move us towards family-centered services. In early childhood, service professionals are expected to work collaboratively with families by addressing the child's needs consistent with the family's needs. Through the ecological systems theory, we believe that children affect and are affected by a family, and that families can offer unique information and insight about their children in the context of many environments. More specifically, the ecological systems model affects all aspects of interventions, including decision-making, family-professional relationships, as well as how, when, and where services are delivered. By applying the family systems model, early childhood educators are encouraged to look at the whole picture. Doing so will help them to work more closely and collaboratively with families, as well as respect the family's right to have a central role in the decision-making process affecting their child.